And DARPA, I'm not even joking, DARPA started to pour money. The U.S. Pentagon, the Department of War, renamed the Department of Defense in 1948, our military establishment started funding research science on how to stop the so-called martyr effect of martyred individuals who were censored on social media. And some of these DARPA studies, and again, because I had to go through all this for the research in my book to look at all the military origins in the media censorship space. And these DARPA proposals, some of these were amazing. It was like 4 different techniques for how to censor without creating the martyr effect. So, and this is in 2019. And so you had the classical top down, but then you had bottom up. Well, what happens to perceptions of censorship if we don't censor the number one person, but we censor their lieutenant class? If we network map the person that we're trying to censor and we say, okay, well, it's London Real that we want to take out, but London Real really gets its amplification because there are 4 or 5 accounts. They might have 2 million followers, but there are 4 or 5 different, people who've got 500,000 followers underneath them. If we keep London Real, but we take out those lieutenants, people don't think London Real is being censored, but now London Real has lost hundreds of millions of impressions. Okay, well, what happens if we only do a couple lieutenants and now we target the much larger, they refer to it as a sort of megaphone, a funnel, where something starts with one content creator and then it filters out to a lieutenant class and then it expands into the larger sort of unwashed masses. Well, what if we network map the misinformation community of, say, COVID, vaccine critics? And so we've got the number 1, the number 2, and then we've got this, sort of wider funnel. What if we leave the number 1 and the number 2 class, but we do a random partial 30% reduction? We basically censor all these tiny accounts who've only got a couple hundreds or a couple thousands of followers. Then that will greatly reduce the message, and no one can say that censorship is happening in the vaccine space there, because why does this person still have their account? Not knowing that the frigging military itself has come up with a plan to reduce that message because it's the smaller accounts and they're leaving the figurehead in place, but they're effectively neutering that one by design to kill the martyr effect so that you don't see the censorship that's being put in place. And the math that goes into this is extraordinary, by the way, in order to have the computer scientists translate that,
right,
into an actual algorithm.
That's wild. Not to mention the self-censorship